What is up, Xolemates? It is me, Xole, and we are back with another songwriting, song structure tutorial. When I first started learning how to play guitar, which wasn't that long ago, I couldn't find a lot of tutorials showing me how to write full sounding songs with a limited number of chords. I've been producing a little over 4 years now, so in this video I'm going to be showing you how to make professional sounding songs with only 3 chords. The main goal of songwriting, in my opinion, is to keep the listener entertained while also making them familiar with the different parts of the song. So the verse, chorus, bridge, pre-chorus, all of that. And I've learned that there are 2 things that you need to keep in mind when you're trying to make a full song out of 3 chords. And these 2 things are the way that you play the chords and also the way that you mix the chords. So, slight camera change. No, this video is not transitioning into a horror film. I'm just going to be focusing on number 1 of those 2 points, which is the different ways that you can play your chords. So as you can see, I've got my old faithful, this super old classical guitar. Don't have an acoustic, just have this classical. And yeah, if you're a beginner guitar, here are some open position cowboy chords that you can get to know pretty quickly. These are my all-time favorite, so we're going to start off with F major. And then we're just going to be moving this down, this middle finger down, into a C major. And then E minor. And then G major. And then you can get, the E, A minor, all of that stuff. But those 4 chords are the best in my opinion. You've got the F major, C major, E minor, and then G major. So in order to show you how I made a full song out of just 3 chords, we are going to be going over my band's newest single, Boston. The 3 chords that we used for Boston were F major, C major, E minor. And, that sounds good, but it sounds like cowboy chords. So an easy way to combat this is to get a capo. And then I just grabbed this capo and moved it to the 4th fret right here. There we go. And we're just going to be playing the same chords, but they're just moved up a little bit with this capo. There we go. So let's talk about how we can change these 3 chords and make this song entertaining. So instead of just strumming these 3 chords over and over again, and just having that loop throughout the whole song, we're gonna try to find different ways that we can play these chords. Again, I have not been playing guitar for a long time, but I've been producing, and these are a few terms that I came up with. If they're wrong, please don't hate on me in the comments, but the 3 ways that you can change up these chords and make them, listenable throughout the song are strumming, plucking, and picking. So strumming would be what I just showed you, and then you can go back and forth. And then plucking would be grabbing the strings and then just plucking them like that. I don't really know how to show you that, but just grabbing the strings and going like this, and then you can make a cool little sound from that. This is what we did for Boston. Doesn't sound good on this classical guitar, but that is a really cool way to play the chords. And then picking would just be making the chord shapes with your fingers and then just going back and forth. So like this. Something like that. Basically, all you have to do is have the chord shape with your hand, and then with your right hand, do do anything you want, and it's always going to be that chord, so it's always going to be in key with the song. Basically, what you want to do is you want the listener to know what the verse is, what the chorus is, and what the bridge is. So maybe we start the song off with the picking method, and that's going to be the verse. So maybe you do that a little bit, and then once the chorus hits, you go into the strum. Alright, I'm going to be hopping right into Ableton, which is a DAW, a music making software. And I'm going to be showing you how I played these 3 chords differently to make this song feel full. And then after that, I'm going to be talking about how I mixed the guitars. So mixing is just using audio effects to change those chords and make them sound differently, basically. We will get into that later. Alright, Xolemates, thank you for bearing with me with that awfully lighted shots. I hope you can see the chords that I showed you. This is the Boston song. So what I did is I just turned the song into just guitars, so this group right here, and then this group down here is the vocals and drums, and then this little ending part. So let's just solo the guitars. Let's also speak English. Let's just solo the guitars, and you're gonna be able to see all of these different, guitars that I recorded and how I recorded them. I mixed them all differently, and I played them all differently. So let's just start the song off. So as you can see, this guitar right here, this is the pluck method, and then this is the strum method. And then we get some vocals down here. And then we're just sticking to the pluck method. And then we're going to get a strum method down here. Add some drums. And then in the pre-chorus, which is right here, it's going to go back into the strum method, but with a melody. This was our city. We would count the years, so many. Now you moved on. And then this is the chorus, and we're going to be getting pluck method and strum method. Boston, Boston. Then we're also adding some bass. And then in the second verse, my vocals come in and we get the picking method. So let's just solo these guitars for the second verse. As you can see, this is what mixing is. It's adding balance to the guitars, and it's adding, variation to the sound. So mixing is done through audio effects. As you can see, there's EQ, reverb. Alright, Xolemates, I hope that helped you learn the different ways in how you can play your chords. Again, this whole song, I've just been playing the same exact 3 chords, but again, I played them differently, so the song is entertaining to listen to. It's not just the same chords played over deep breaths. It's not just the same chords played over and over again. It's the same chords played over and over again, but with different variations. Some's plucked, some are strummed, and then some are picked. So now we're going to be talking about mixing. The job of mixing is to present these chords in different sounds. So the audio effects that you need to be focusing on are EQ, which is going to be taking out frequencies to make it, just really bright or just really heavy and dark. And then also reverb, which is going to be making it sound like it's in a, huge hall with a lot of space, or just in a super tight room, and that's going to be changing up the sound of your guitar. And then also doubling, which is adding one guitar in your left ear, one guitar in your right ear. I do that a lot in this song. And then there is also delay is a big one. That's going to be, duplicating the sound of your guitar to make it repeat itself. And then there's also chorus and flanger and compression. let's just hop right into this song and let me show you how I mixed these guitars. So I'm just gonna be making all of these guitars go smaller. I'm gonna turn off the vocals and drums. I'm gonna also be turning off all of these other guitars. We're just gonna focus on this intro electric. So again, this is the strumming method. Let's give it a solo. We're just gonna listen to it. And then these are the audio effects that I throw on. So this is reverb, this is auto pan. It's gonna be moving the sound from your left to your right. This is EQ, and then this is delay. We're just gonna turn all of them off. So this is what our strum sounds like. I already showed you this. Strum, strum. So first things first, we're gonna throw in reverb, and that's gonna make it sound like it's in this big room, and it's gonna be sounding bright, and it's just gonna fill your ears well. And then we're gonna throw in auto pan. That's gonna be moving it left to right. That's not that important, but the really important thing is EQ. And this is frequency level. So these are the lows. This is what's gonna make it sound really dark. And then these are the highs, and that's gonna make it sound really bright. So I threw in this EQ, and I took some of these brights off, and then I also took some of these darks off, these lows. And now it's just gonna be kind of sounding like it's in the middle. So I'm just gonna play it. If we move this knob down here, now it's just, you know, really dark. And then if we move this knob to the right, it's just gonna keep getting brighter. So I just wanted it in that middle section, and then we're throwing on delay, which is going to be duplicating your sound. If you haven't seen my How to Sound Like the Strokes video, I did a really in-depth walkthrough on delay and delaying your vocals. So definitely check that out if you want to look more into delay. It's also in collaboration with No Funhouse, which he is a great YouTuber. You need to check him out. If you are, you know, an intermediate to expert guitar, he shows you some great guitar chords, indie guitar chords. Yeah, he's just a really good guitar YouTuber, so check him out. And now our delayed, reverbed, and EQ'd guitar sounds like this. And I wanted to add in a plucking method to go on top of that strumming method. And this is what I did. So I'm just gonna turn both of these tracks off. So I'm gonna give it a solo. This is what our plucking method sounded like without audio effects. There we go. And now I'm gonna throw in the reverb. Now it sounds just a little bit more full. And then I'm gonna be throwing in this EQ8. And as you can see, I'm boosting these highs. And the reason I'm boosting these highs is because this guitar right here, the highs are taken out. And mixing, the main job of mixing is giving your track balance. So if this electric guitar doesn't have these highs, then to balance out the sound, we're gonna add highs with this acoustic guitar. So now the acoustic has highs, the electric guitar doesn't have highs. And when you put them together, it sounds like this. And you know, that could work, but if you can tell, the guitars sound like they're in the middle of your ear. And a really good guitar mixing method, you really need to pay attention on this one, is doubling. So this electric guitar right here, it's right in your middle. And we could just add the acoustic guitar on top of it in the middle as well. The EQs, again, they're kind of balanced, so that could work. But to give the mix even more space, we could move the acoustic guitars one to the left and then one to the right. And that's gonna be giving your track a lot of space. So now let's solo our acoustic guitar, and let's solo this left track. As you can see, look over here, this little knob moves your track left and right. So right now, it was in the middle like this, but we're gonna move this one to the left. And then we're gonna record those same chords, those same plucking chords, and we're gonna do the same thing with this track, but we're gonna be moving it to the right. So now you play both of them together on top of each other, One's on your left, one is on your right, and now we're gonna fill in that middle space with this electric guitar. There we go. That is really the general gist of the mixing. It's just EQ, reverb, panning, so moving them left and right. Let's get into this guitar pretty quickly. So, you know, we have the acoustic guitar going throughout this verse. In the second part of the verse, again, we bring in this strum method. So now one strummed electric guitar is on our left, one strummed electric guitar is on our right, and now both of these guitars together. Just sounds a lot more better. And as you can tell, nothing's in the middle. But there is something in the middle, and that is the vocals. So I'm gonna bring in these vocals down here. And this is my good friend Ross. He is in the band. He is singing this verse. So his vocals are in the middle.
The crowds, the people, the party never stops. The cars, the street lights, we watch it from the top. Whoa, we watch it from the top.
Now the pre-chorus, we're just gonna go back to the plucking method.
Do you remember this was our city? We would count the years, so many.
And then we're gonna get into the chorus, and that's gonna bring in the strumming electric guitars.
Boston, Boston, we live in downtown Boston, Boston. You and me in love in Boston. Cheap wine 'cause we gotta watch a custom. Kick off your shoes and pull back the curtains. Oh, wake up, baby, downtown's working. Boston, Boston, we live in downtown Boston.